So you want to play Kingdom Hearts 3, but you either don't remember or have never played the games that led up to it. Well, the best thing to do would be to get the 1.5 plus 2.5 HD collection and the 2.8 HD collection on PS4 and play them for yourself, to get the full experience. But of course, not everyone has a PS4. Some of you Xbox players are seriously up a creek since Kingdom Hearts 3 is the first Kingdom Hearts game to come out to the platform. Not everyone has time to play several 30-hour-long games just to understand the conclusion of a storyline that's been building for 16 years. So, here's my video series that will hopefully help you get caught up before you play Kingdom Hearts 3. This is the bottom line for Kingdom Hearts, where I will explain one game at a time and only the plot points that you really need to know. No wasting time with Disney plot lines that don't ultimately relate to the main narrative. In this episode, we will be discussing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Or rather, we are going to be discussing the PS2 remake of the Game Boy Advance version of the game, released in 2008. This is one of the games that the less devoted and casual Kingdom Hearts players skipped over, missing out on some context for the next major entry into the series. This game also is one of the few that contains two different storylines, one for Sora and one for Riku. And because this game doesn't have a clear outline for the continuity, I'm going to be stitching together the two stories as best I can with the context provided to me by the game. So for those of you who jumped the gap, here is the bottom line for Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Shortly after defeating Ansem at Kingdom Hearts, Sora wakes up in the endless field he and his companions had been wandering. He goes for a stroll and comes to the crossroads, where he is met by a mysterious hooded man.
Along the road ahead lies something you need. However, in order to claim it, you must lose something that is dear to you.
Chasing after him, the trio come to a strange castle and are drawn inside as if compelled to enter. Inside, they claim that their search for Riku and King Mickey led them to this castle, when the hooded man reappears and explains that the place they have found themselves in is Castle Oblivion. He leaves the party with the enigmatic riddle that to find is to lose, and to lose is to find, and provides Sora with a card to transform the floors of the castle into the worlds from his memories and progress higher. After passing through Sora's memory of Traverse Town, the party meets another one of the cloaked figures.
Hello! What do you want?
No hogging the hero.
Then perhaps you'd like to test him.
Perhaps I would. My show now, Keyblade Master. Who am I? Oh, my name's Axel. Got it memorized?
Sure.
Good. You're a quick learner. So, Sora, now that we're getting to know each other better... Don't you go off and die on me now.
As the team climb the floors, they discover that they are forgetting their memories, such as the events from Hollow Bastion. They consolidate with Jiminy's journal, but find that every single page that Jiminy wrote has been mysteriously erased. Elsewhere, Axel and another cohort, Larxene, are discussing their interest in Sora because of his ability to retain his personality as a Heartless, where only one other person has been able to do so before. This goes to show how strong Sora's heart truly is, and why the Keyblade chose him. However, Sora appears to be remembering something as he forgets, a girl that he used to be friends with along with Riku and Kairi. As he tries to remember more about her, his memory returns in bits and pieces. He recalls how the girl used to draw all the time, and that he and Riku would fight over who she would draw next, until one day, she went away and was never seen again. Larxene and Axel continue their conversation, where they reveal that they plan to overthrow the organization by using Sora. However, Axel appears to have an ulterior motive. Larxene then appears before Sora, and sadistically teases him about the girl he can't remember, saying that she would be heartbroken to learn that he had forgotten her. She then reveals that they have the girl captive in the castle. As she knocks Sora to the ground, an unfamiliar object falls from his pocket, a good luck charm similar to Kairi's, that Sora doesn't recognize. As Larxene chastises him, he begins to remember the girl's name that gave it to him, Naminé. Larxene then threatens to smash the good luck charm, but Sora is enraged and challenges her to a fight. When Larxene flees their battle, Sora flies into an uncharacteristic fury, upset that someone despicable like her was what he needed to remember Naminé. Simultaneously, Riku wakes up in an empty void, unsure of how he got out of the realm of darkness after helping steal Kingdom Hearts. He hears a voice beckoning him and offers him a card. The voice warns Riku that should he take the card, the journey that will follow will cause him pain. And yet, Riku takes it. He then finds himself transported to the deepest basement of Castle Oblivion, and uses the card on the door before him. He enters his memories of Hollow Bastion, finding the castle empty, much like his heart after he cast away his friends, family, and home to follow the darkness and venture into the outside world. Eventually, he runs into his memory of Maleficent, and vows to fight the darkness in his heart by going back through his memories and defeating all of the Disney villains. After defeating Maleficent, Riku discovers that the voice that was speaking to him was Ansem all along, and is once again seeking to take control of his heart and body. Riku refuses to accept his darkness and takes on his challenge. Should he reach the base floor of Castle Oblivion without succumbing to the darkness, then he will be victorious. However, Ansem tempers the darkness inside his heart as a parting gift, and allows Riku to access his dark form and grow his powers. Climbing to the next floor, Riku is met by King Mickey. However, Mickey is still on his way to the castle, and so must send a projection of himself to speak on his behalf. He reminds Riku to fight the darkness inside him, and that there is always light in the deepest darkness, as they had witnessed in Kingdom Hearts. From another room, Vexen, Zexion, and Lexius are observing Riku, intrigued by the familiar presence that resonates with him that reminds them of their leader, which is how he was able to escape the realm of darkness. Vexen then goes to battle him, gathering data of him during their conflict. Afterwards, Riku enters a higher floor and comes face to face with himself. The look-alike reveals that he is an exact replica of Riku created by Vexen, the difference being that he fully embraces the darkness, and the two fight. The replica then flees and returns to the members of the organization. They plot to rearrange his memories and make him think that he was the real Riku, in order to confuse and hurt Sora, which the replica refuses as he believes that doing so would make him weak and spineless. After being dispatched by Larxene, she forces this change upon him. Back with Sora, he and the party reach a new floor, and meet who they believe to be Riku, when it is in fact the Riku replica. While Sora is happy to see him, Riku insists that Sora no longer cares for him, searching the castle for Naminé instead of him, reflecting on how Maleficent tricked the real Riku into thinking Sora valued Donald and Goofy over him and Kairi. After losing repeated fights against Sora, the replica runs away. Vexen is admonished by Marluxia, the man who had led Sora to the castle, that the replica is a failure, and by proxy, Vexen himself. This angers Vexen, and he vows to take care of Sora himself. This serves as a conflict of interest to Marluxia's plan, and he orders Axel to eliminate their comrade. Vexen appears to Sora and reveals that he is the one who brought he and Riku together, to which Sora immediately assumes that Vexen was controlling him. The two have a battle, but Vexen is defeated and provides him with a card made from the memories on the other side of Sora's heart. Confused, the party opens the next door and finds themselves in Twilight Town, a place Sora is more than positive he's never been to before. Goofy suggests that he will remember it eventually like he did with Naminé, but Sora refuses, saying that this doesn't feel the same. However, he does admit that there is a sort of familiarity to this place that he senses in his heart, but not from his actual memories. Vexen reappears and riddles Sora about whether his memories of Naminé or Twilight Town are more real, to which Sora answers the former. However, in truth, his memory of Twilight Town is more real. After their final battle, Vexen confesses that the Riku Sora has encountered throughout Castle Oblivion is indeed the replica he made, and then begins to warn him that Marluxia is trying to enslave him somehow. Just as Sora is about to get more answers, Axel attacks Vexen.
Axel!
Yo, Sora. Did I catch you at a bad time?
Axel, why?
I came to stop you from talking too much. By eliminating your existence.
No! Don't do it!
We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are. But now you can be nothing instead of just being a nobody. You're off the hook.
No! Please don't! I don't want to!
Goodbye.
What are you? What are you people?
Don't know. I wonder about that myself.
In the basement, Lexaeus and Zexion sense Vexen's termination, and grow concerned that Marluxia's plan to use Sora to overthrow the organization may come to fruition. Loyal to their superior, who desperately needs Sora's power, they agree to try and gain control of Riku in order to put Sora on their intended path. Afterwards, Sora runs into the replica again, who recites that he made a promise to keep Naminé safe during a meteor shower, but Sora says that he made the same promise with the same circumstance, and shows his good luck charm. In confusion, the replica's mind twists and tumbles as a spell refocuses his memories, and he too reveals the same good luck charm. Riku drops the charm as he runs away, and it turns into a card. Sora, now in a hurry to rescue Naminé from the organization, gets frustrated as Donald and Goofy voice their concerns about how he and Riku have the same memory. Sora takes this as a challenge that his own memory is wrong, and that he should abandon Naminé, and leaves them behind in a huff. In the drawing room, Axel urges Naminé to escape and help Sora, saying that no one is around who would stop her from doing so. She takes her chance and rushes out the room as Axel laughs to himself in anticipation. On the next floor, Sora enters his memories of the Destiny Islands on the night that it was destroyed. He encounters Naminé, who shies away from his touch and apologizes for luring him into the castle. As he looks on confused, a second Naminé appears behind him, telling him not to believe the first one. As Sora attempts to make sense of the situation, the good luck charm reverts to the one that Kairi gave him, and the first Naminé is revealed to be Sora's memory of Kairi transposed as Naminé, a lasting impression of the spell cast on him. Sora chases after Naminé and questions why he can't remember the girl he cherishes most. As she is about to explain, the replica of Riku interjects and starts another fight, but Naminé commands him to stop and he crumples to the ground motionless. Larxene appears and explains the truth about the replica, and that it thought it was Riku because Naminé's magic to manipulate memories made it believe so. She continues that Sora's memories were also affected by Naminé in order to replace her with Kairi, and that there was never any sort of relationship or promise that existed between them. As Larxene lashes out at Naminé for ruining their plans, Sora stands up for her, stating that even though the memories are fake, his feelings are real, and that he will protect her regardless. At the conclusion of their battle, Larxene fades away. As Naminé apologizes for meddling with Sora's memory, she reveals that Marluxia was using her magic to make Sora undoubtedly devoted to her, so that he would do whatever they wanted. As Sora requests for his memories to be restored to normal, Naminé invites him to the 13th floor, where Marluxia will be waiting, and explains that in doing so, he will forget everything about Castle Oblivion, including her. Meanwhile, Lexaeus appears before Riku, calling his fear of his own darkness a waste. As they battle, Lexaeus strikes a serious blow to Riku. As he lies unconscious, Riku's darkness takes hold of him, his power increasing and his voice once again tied with anthems. He strikes Lexaeus down in a single stroke, who comes to the realization before he fades away that Riku does indeed harbor the presence identical to their superior. Lost in the darkness of his heart, Riku recognizes Ansem's darkness and calls him by name. The memory of Ansem mixed with Riku's darkness allows him to resurface and attempt to take complete control of Riku again. However, Mickey's light interferes and frees Riku. On the 13th floor, Axel vows to eliminate Marluxia for treason against the organization, to which Marluxia comprehends that he had been a spy for their superior all along, to uncover their plan to enact a coup. As the two battle, Marluxia summons Naminé and uses her as a shield. In that moment, Sora enters, and Marluxia says that Axel is willing to go through Naminé to get to him, and so Axel turns his attention to Sora. Just as he fades away, he says that it was worth saving Sora, but noticeably, Axel does not vanish the same way that Larxene and Vexen did. Now with no one else in his way, Sora goes on to face Marluxia. Back in the basement, Zexion senses Lexaeus' presence fade, and Axel appears before him, having faked his death after his fight with Sora. The two predict that Sora will destroy Marluxia next, and Zexion's plan for Riku begins to unfurl since he had planned to have him deal with the traitors. Now that he has become a threat, Axel suggests that Zexion takes care of Riku himself. As Sora intercepts Marluxia, he commands Naminé to completely erase Sora's memory, which will destroy his heart in turn. She refuses, but Sora ushers her to do it anyway, as he believes that Donald and Goofy can help him put his memories back together. As the scene intensifies, the replica of Riku comes to the rescue, comprehending that he is in fact a fake, but also believes that his drive to protect Naminé is real. The group faces Marluxia, but only defeat an illusion of him. Sora and company continue onward, facing the final battle against Marluxia and his Reaper mech. Upon victory, Marluxia fades away. Sora and the party convene outside, where the Riku replica says that he can't remember how, why, or when he was created. Goofy suggests that Naminé return his memories to how they were when he was first created, but the replica says he'll deal with having incomplete memories. Sora then tells him that whether or not he was created doesn't matter, since the memories and feelings he's had within the castle were real. The replica then leaves to find his own path. Naminé then takes Sora to the chamber where she'll fix his memory. She explains that the memories she removed were never truly gone, just obscured and disconnected from his other memories. In order for her to put his memories back together, he will need to sleep until she can finish the job. She urges him to remember the person most special to him one more time, as the memory of her is connected to all the other memories that he lost. As Sora jumps inside the pod, he vows to find Naminé again after he wakes up and thank her, even though she tells him that he will not remember her. Just as he is drifting to sleep, he focuses on the good luck charm and pushes through the haze of his false memories, until...
Kairi! My friends! Naminé?
Don't worry. You might forget about me. But with our promise, I can come back.
A promise is a promise.
Yes. One day the light, it will be ours and it will bring us together. Till then, I'll be in your heart.
Right. Forgotten, but not lost.
With Sora's journey in Castle Oblivion at an end, Riku feels the castle shake as Marluxia is destroyed. Zexion comes to tell Riku that Sora is the one responsible, and asks him if he can truly face Sora given his ties to Ansem and the darkness. Sora's destiny is to extinguish the darkness with light, and therefore, Riku is considered one of his enemies. He hands Riku the card to Destiny Islands, and dares him to see the truth for himself. As Riku enters his memories of the Destiny Islands, he faces his past as Zexion blames him for the destruction of the islands. Because Riku had wanted to explore the unknown, he freely opened his heart to the darkness, and lured the Heartless to their world. After defeating the dark side, Riku spots Sora and tries to talk to him. However, Sora attacks him, and questions why he can be injured by the light. Seeing Riku as a pure being of darkness, he consumes him in an overbearing light. As the light smothers him, Riku senses Kairi's presence. She tells him not to fear the darkness, because, like all beings, he too is made up of both light and darkness. Darkness is not inherently evil, and neither is light inherently good. He should not fear his own darkness, and learn to accept it and use it for good, and use both his light and his darkness in tandem together, so that he can find true strength. As she speaks, there's a moment where it is revealed that Naminé has once again posed as Kairi to convey her message. As Riku vows to change himself, to become better, he transforms into Dark Riku. In the light, he suddenly turns and strikes out, landing a hit on Zexion disguised as Sora. After the two battles, Zexion flees, mortally wounded. Retreating to the basement, Axel appears with a replica of Riku. He mutters to it that if he can gain his own power that the real Riku doesn't have, that he can be unique, his own self. With that, the replica latches onto Zexion and absorbs his power, causing him to fade away. As Riku climbs to a new floor, Ansem's voice begins to mock him for letting in the darkness and takes hold of his body. In that moment, King Mickey's light arrives and breaks his control. However, it isn't just the light this time, and is in fact the real King Mickey. Riku is overwhelmed to finally have an ally with him in a castle full of enemies. The two continue on into Twilight Town, where Riku encounters Ansem once again. However, Riku lets down his guard and says that the man before him is an imposter. Riku puts two and two together, realizing that this Ansem had been appearing to him in Castle Oblivion, and leading him onward to face the darkness. Ansem's form dissipates and reveals a man concealed by rustic wraps, a cloak, and buckles, who calls himself Diz. He reveals that he has been seeking Riku's help since he can control both light and darkness. He tells him to meet Naminé and make a choice. As Riku approaches the old mansion, the replica appears once again, saying that no matter how much power he gains, he can never be anything more than a shadow of Riku, and tries to eliminate him to take his place. Once Riku finally defeats the replica, it begins to fade into the darkness.
So, it's over. Death doesn't frighten me.
good riddance to a phony life. My heart was never real. I'm sure even what I'm feeling now is probably all fake. What are you feeling? What happens when a fake dies? One like me. Where will my heart go? Does it disappear? It'll go somewhere. Maybe to the same place as mine. A faithful replica until the very end. That's okay.
Riku reaches the Chamber of Sleep and meets Namine, recognizing that she was the one who came to him in the form of Kairi in the light, mentioning that her presence is identical to Kairi's. Namine explains how she had meddled in Sora's memories, and is trying to correct her mistake. She then offers Riku the choice between allowing her to remove his memories of the darkness in order to seal Ansem away, or face Ansem himself and risk losing control of his body. As Riku ponders, he jokes about how Sora is always sleeping and leaving work to him, and that he can't chew him out like he deserves if he decides to go to sleep too. He then makes the choice to face Ansem himself. In the next room, Riku and Mickey encounter Diz once again, and Mickey mentions that he has a feeling like he knows Diz from somewhere. Diz gives Riku and Mickey a pair of organization cloaks, to be used to protect them from the darkness, and also to keep the organization from detecting them, but they would still be able to listen in on their conversations. He then provides Riku with a card that will draw Ansem out of his heart, and allow him to face him once again. Just as Riku is about to open the door, he tries to request that Mickey destroy him, should Ansem win and take over his heart. But Mickey refuses, promising that he will never give up on him, and try to save him if Ansem takes control of him. As Riku enters the deepest dungeon of Castle Oblivion, he finally encounters the real Ansem. As Riku emerges victorious, Ansem vows that he will return so long as a single fragment of darkness remains in Riku's heart. With his final breath, he attempts to swallow Riku in darkness, but Mickey arrives to save him like he promised. After the battle, Riku can still sense Ansem's darkness, however faint, but Mickey juxtaposes that Riku's darkness belongs to him, just as his light does. He admits that where he once believed that darkness can only be a force for evil, he now sees in Riku that it can be used for good in conjunction with light. For this reason, he offers to journey onward with Riku.
What are you making me choose now?
Between the road to light and the road to darkness.
Neither suits me. I'm taking the middle road.
Do you mean the twilight road to nightfall?
No. It's the road to dawn.